Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Backstage Bimbo TV. It's me, Allison Rouse, your most notorious groupie and author of We've Got Tonight, The Life and Times of Notorious Groupie. Me. A book so good that network television are stealing my stories for their shows without my permission. No other groupie book has their stories stolen, do they? But that's a whole other couple of vlogs ago. So in this week's Rocky Talkie, guys, cannot forget to say thank you to all the awesome people I am meeting that are supporting, that are actually watching, putting me in the algorithm, sharing my stories, getting me out there, and just being so awesomely cool people. Thank you guys so much. Much love to you all. So, back to this week's Rocky Talkie. We are going to do a topic that has been requested several times about rocker insecurities. Just because they're rock stars doesn't mean they have their egos in check, do they? No. Because that's all the ego is. Something to cover the insecurities. That's all. We don't need the ego. We need our heart and soul. And rockers have that heart and soul. People don't realize. They have just as many insecurities as guys. So in today's little cocktail, as usual, we're doing a Wednesday beer, my beer day. And we're doing another one from the Boulevard out of Kansas City, barrel aged, a nice little 11.6%er. Love, like I always say, I'm a bitch for a barrel aged. So everybody grab your barrels, kick up your feet, and let's get into today's Rocky Talkie, shall we? Cheers, big ears. All right. So where do I start? We'll start with the number one thing about rockers, especially English rockers, about what makes them insecurity. Growing old. Aging. Which, let's admit today, guys, we don't age like our grandparents or our parents did. I'm 51, almost 52 years old. I don't have the curler set or whatever, we don't look like our grandparents. So I think we are, as our generation and generations to come, will be aging better. So age should never be an insecurity. Age like Sophia Loren and guys like Sean Connery or Robert Redford. Ooh, those boys were hot. Robert Redford's still hot. I would have fucked Sean Connery the day he died. He might have had a wet noodle, but I would have rubbed something on it. Totally would have. So, and that's their insecurity, just like normal guys. But the fear of aging is for different reasons. Let's go back to the story with Glenn Tipton, who in Las Vegas, when he was buying t-shirts for his kids at the House of Blues, which, 16 and early 20s at the time, but he was still a cute dad buying stuff for his kids on the road. That's awesome because he's thinking about his kids while he's out there. So, but I was mistaken for his daughter. Ooh. Freaked Glenn right the fuck out. And from what I've heard, he's got Botox after Parkinson's, which in a way I can understand if it's a treatment for anything that might go on. But again, here's his insecurity of aging, freaking out because I'm 30-something years old that looks like young enough to be his daughter, and he gets angry. I mean, look at the English rockers. The older they get, the younger their girlfriends all stay the same age. 19, 20, 22, which there's nothing wrong with that because I was dating 40, 50-year-old men in my 20s and 30s because it was just more mentally stimulating. I felt more comfortable. We were on the same financial page and all kinds of things. So they're just insecure as aging because they have more to live up to. They have everybody else's standards that they're stuck in being the rock star for the rest of the world. And they have to look like everybody always knows that they look and imagine them and sees them in their heads. So aging is a huge insecurity for rockers. And to tie that into how they have to look, the insecurity comes with dating. Will the women like me off stage? Will they like the way I dress? Will they like this? That's another, we all have huge insecurities about dating. We've all seen my vlog about dating rock stars versus normal men. It's crazy. If you don't see it, go watch it. It's on the playlist. So, they have a whole insecurity about, will they like me for me? Can I be myself off the stage? Because most women who date the rocker end up being like in love with the rocker and not the man he is off stage. That's why I always talk about, don't get everything into your head about who he is or what he's going to say or what he's going to do or whatever. Don't get that into your head. Let the rocker reveal himself. That takes away a huge part of any insecurity on dates, for ourselves, for everybody. If we don't have a preconceived notion of who we think someone is or want someone to be, how comfortable is that? And like I said, rockers have this huge insecurity because they're expected to be this rocker, which is only a tiny facet of their existence as human beings. It's their heart and soul, it's their job, it's what they do, it's their public persona, but it's not all of them. So their insecurities about dating are just as fucked up as a normal guy's insecurities. Is she going to be too young? And then as we age, of course, there's that sexual insecurity. Just because they're rock stars doesn't mean they're sex gods. They have just as much insecurities because if they're dating a younger woman, a woman of their age, or someone they're really excited by or been thinking about for years, or getting a divorce and returning to an old flame, whatever, there's all this anxiety about, am I going to be good in bed with her? Still, having to live up to the rock star facade, but being this normal guy off the stage and not being some porn star sex god, because none of us are. We just either mesh and we're comfortable with someone or we don't. And they suck in bed, like Bret Michaels totally sucked in bed, but he didn't worry about it because he was young hot thing at the time. But bet you after that he had insecurities, because wow, I've seen a cat lick its ears more. Oh, better. Anyway, so they have just as many sexual insecurities, whiskey dick, age. Am I going to live up to her desires? Is it big enough? Or is it too big? Because I've had too big. Oh, yeah. Well, don't get me started about, why did I forget his name? He was a drummer. We tried for like 2 weeks. I was on the road with him. We couldn't get it in. I could fit it in my mouth, but not that much of it, really. So there's all kinds of insecurities that the rockers have sexually too. So they have the same insecurities of age, of is she going to love me for who I am off stage, or is she going to want me for my money? There's that juxtapose. Then they have the insecurities of sexuality, of sex and pleasing, and some of the rockers' sexuality as well, because we all know about Rob Halford, which, good on him. It took him, we all knew for years before he came out, and he came out when it was a time nobody was doing that, and he set some really awesome standards. So again, same insecurities sexually as the normal guy does. And let's talk about an insecurity that most normal guys don't have. Will I become irrelevant? Because Judas Priest, several bands, they've kind of taken a fall from grace, from the heights for a while, because, and I use Judas Priest because Glenn is just such a good example of typical rocker insecurities. The man has Parkinson's for how many years? I mean, I knew before the rest of the world, but he's still out there with his Botox, playing guitar in a band that looks more like Spinal fucking Tap than it does Judas Priest, who has a bald, bearded soccer dad take over Glenn, and sometimes Glenn steps out. But it's the core of who he is. He doesn't know how to be anything else but Glenn Tipton of Judas Priest. So his fear of who he has to be off the stage, of what he is not anymore, the great twin axe attack of Judas Priest, and being irrelevant to the rest of the world, because they did lose a big huge arena size following when they had Ripper and for a few years. And he even talks about how scared he was that Judas Priest was going to not be irrelevant and just fade into oblivion when Rob originally left the band. And right now they should fade into legendary oblivion. Because here you go, Glenn, your fear is true. Judas Priest really is not irrelevant anymore. You should have stopped while you were at the top of the mountain. Now you're just sort of tumbling down. And this is why they have the insecurities, because of people like me, because I will give my honest opinion. And they have so much more to live up to in the eyes of fans all over the world. To be this rock god, to be this sex god, to be everything that this person needs you to be. And if their band becomes irrelevant and they fade into oblivion and nobody recognizes them when they go out on the street anymore, again, it's all ego. And a lot of rock stars I know don't have this ego. Like James Hetfield. I absolutely love the way he balances his privacy with his public, and he takes both so much in great stride. But hint, hint, guys, more's coming out public about James Hetfield. Wedding ring is off. Yep, I said it out loud. It's hard for a family to go through, but so I'm not making fun of it. But so James Hetfield just has a more secure place in his own heart and soul because he's been forced to step back and look at his insecurities and defeat them. Glenn Tipton never ever has. Neither has, like, Jimmy Page. You know, I think Jimmy is a really, really sweet person. Really, he truly is. But his insecurities keep him in his Jimmy Page on stage mind frame most of the time. He has to live up to that and be the sex god and have the young hot girlfriend. And you see where I'm going with all this? So normal guys, don't think just because they're rock stars that they don't have the same insecurities. Just like I know Jennifer Aniston has the same insecurities, and Courtney Cox, she got Botox, which she hated. You know, every Playboy playmate ever is insecure because that's what Hugh Hefner made him. So everybody has their goddamn insecurities, people. It's not just normal people. Just because you're famous and you're pretty and airbrushed in pictures doesn't bring security to your heart and soul. No. Only being comfortable in your own skin can. So everybody, just be comfortable in your own skin. We're all beautiful. I don't care your size, your color, your sexual affiliation. I don't care. As long as you're an awesome person, an amazing heart and soul. Because there's this thing, when I was studying Islam for a lot of years, one of the first books I read, because I studied Sufism, which is kind of Muslim mysticism. I don't study any religion now because after studying a lot of different religions, I don't believe in organized religion. I believe in a higher power, but no, nothing after the 7 deadly and the 10 commandments. So where was I going? Oh, this book, The Knowing Heart by Kabir Helmensky. It talks about how you have your heart and your soul and your ego. And your heart has to live between your soul and your ego. The ego we need when we have to survive. To fight off a fender or to forage for food. You know, you need that for basic survival. You don't need it to lead you into the room to hide your insecurities. And like I said, this is why I like James Hetfield. He's already had to... this is why I like who he's become. I haven't seen him in 30 years, but I watched him grow into this person from all this confusion, and I see a calmness and a comfort in him now that I haven't seen 20 years. And that's because he's had to confront his own insecure demons. So well done him, while Glenn Tipton never has, and the man with Parkinson's is out on the road traveling. That terrifies me. Because there's not just physical things that go with Parkinson, there's dementia that goes with it too. So what's driving this guy to go out on the road? And like I said, I'm sorry to use Glenn Tipton as an example, but he needs to learn to let go of that ego and that side of him and enjoy the rest of his life where he needs to be with his family. But his ego and his insecurity of being irrelevant, forgotten about, no one's going to forget Judas Priest. They're fucking iconic. And the Twin Axe attack started, like, influenced more Twin Axe attack groups than we've ever seen. These guys really embodied that. But like I said, rock stars have those same insecurities because you're not going to. I mean, Bret Michaels, like I said, he didn't please me at all. He didn't even get to. He got really close to home, but missed it by that much. Dude, it's up here, not in the back. So, like I said, normal guys, if you're dating a woman who's been around rock stars or dated rock stars or married to a rock star, is now divorced, whatever, don't let your insecurities about your vision of this so-called rock god ruin what you could have with a really great person. Because a lot of groupies are awesome, strong, loving, beautiful souls, women and men. Because groupies can be men. But understand that the rock stars' insecurities are just the same as yours. And they don't get a free pass on this just because they are rock stars and they're worshipped by a bunch of people a few nights a week or, online or whatever. They don't want to age. They go through midlife crises. They have to buy sports cars to show off, It's all the same thing. It's one thing if you're a collector of sports cars, like Glenn's a collector of mini sports cars. That's cool. James, big sports cars. That's one thing. But if you're buying a Ferrari in a midlife crisis, oh, dude. Or normal guys, a Corvette. No, don't do it. Trust me, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't buy the Vet. Don't buy the Vet. Women in cars make fun of them. Don't let your insecurity or your ego get the best of you. Always know who you are in your heart and soul and stick with that, guys. Because that's what really turns us women on. Yes, it is how good you are in bed, and it's not necessarily the size of things because it's the magic in the wand, not the size of it. As we know from the Harry Potter films. I think I saw the wrong Harry Potter films. Mine all came with X's. So anyway, there you guys go. There's a little chatty chat about rock stars and their insecurities. Guess what, folks? We're all the fucking same. Whether you stand on the stage or watching it from the front row, fucking them back at the hotel, working for the band, we all have the same insecurities. Oh my God. How cool is that? It's awesome because we can identify with each other through the songs, through conversation, through really actually seeing each other and dropping our fucking egos. And let's live in our heart and souls. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be respected for who they are and for their merit. And, we all can be with the right heart and soul. So find that in yourselves. Rockers, groupies, nurses, anybody who's struggling, I want you to look in the mirror every day and find something good about yourself. Let that ego go and see the beauty we all have. Because like I said, rockers, they're scared to get older because, oh my God, I play guitar, I'm not going to be able to do the things on stage, I'm going to be breathing heavy. Yeah, it's all the same no matter what, guys. I have my insecurities too. My fucking sinuses here. I don't sound like this, trust me. So there you guys go. There's my weekly Rocky Talkie about rockers and their insecurities. Nothing new here. Nothing we all didn't already know. Because groupies, we see the guys behind closed doors where they let those insecurities run free. And we're... Get them away from me. Go! We chase away those insecurities, help them feel a little more safe, a little more happy, just like your woman does when you go home to her. And I hope you and your woman and everybody has a great week ahead. We will see you on Sunday with the Cocktails and Rocktails, folks. Thank you again for all the love. Again, hit the subscribe button, hit the bells. Come and join me for the Cocktails and Rocktails, and let's get me out into that algorithm, because as we know, my material is being stolen. And it's not fair that other people gain money where I'm losing it. So, or attention, or glory, or anything else. So hit that subscribe, you guys, for the 50% who are actually watching me that are not subscribed. Everybody share, share, share. Share me away. And like I always say, hit my bells, and we'll see you on Sunday for Cocktails and Rocktails. Cheers, big ears.